I don't know about you guys, but this podcast is different.
I'll just say my loser point. This seems different.
Heard that one before. Heard that one before.
Yeah. We might as well get that one out of the way. Whoa, how many bad takes do we have in one podcast? So the Panthers, frauds, they advanced.
If I'm going to go with my number one fraud team, hands down the Florida Panthers. They were playing like frauds at the time. I still think they're kind of frauds.
Fraud Sturkin, we all were hating on the Rangers, even though, we wanted them to win, but we were hating on them. They advanced, and Shesterkin stands on his head.
Still frauds.
And finally, how many wins were the Leafs supposed to get? It was so hard to count them.
16?
It was tough, 16. They fell a little short of that. They had 3.
I love the energy, though.
Good night.
Right as we were filming this, Arsenal just lost to Newcastle, and I was saying to you guys, this is by far the worst 4 or 5 days in my sporting life. Where on last Thursday, Arsenal was up on Tottenham by 4 points for the 4th place spot. The Leafs were up 3-2 in their series. You saw it. You saw the video. I was absolutely buzzing. Is there anything better than round 1 of the NHL playoffs? It's just been a brutal couple days.
Didn't you have a video from after the first game where how many people were yelling sweep?
Tampa better watch out because Leafs in 4. Leafs in 4, baby. Leafs in 4. Leafs in 4. Shut up!
You'd probably
Shut up!
I could probably go to Winnipeg now, go to a bar and be like, "You think the Jets are gonna win the cup next year?" And a bunch of people would yell like, "Hell yeah!"
No. Don't say that. Don't say that
100%.
until you've been around. The Jets fan base. We're very gracious. We're so.
Yeah, you're all the
Great.
exact same.
You showed up to
We're all the exact same. You want me to tell you about my experience at the goddamn square?
I'm just explaining.
We're
You
most
showed
toxic
up-
fan base I've ever seen.
Bro, you showed up to the square
Okay,
with
no
a
question.
Jets shirt.
Yeah, of
and you're
course.
sitting there
I had to.
screaming during the game.
Yeah,
Obviously,
like-
people are gonna be angry.
Yeah,
at
because
you.
other people are stirring the pot with me first.
You're taking it wrong. I'm not saying you're all the same. I'm saying I could go to a bar and find a bunch of drunk kids that would yell whatever on camera.
So why don't you do it?
Fair point.
I don't want to go to Winnipeg.
Oh, there you go. That's the Toronto spirit.
Obviously, we're going to get back to Leafs at some point later with Don't Think, Just Tweet. In case you missed the last episode, we've formatted this down a little bit so we can talk about as many subjects as we can. But the main first topic we are discussing, it's the end of the first round. That means that there's only 8 teams total remaining, and we had you guys rank those teams. This is not a power ranking. This is based on how much you guys believe whoever you've ranked, wherever, can actually win the Stanley Cup. All right, Luca, start us off with your number 8 team, then towards the number 1 team.
Love it. Rangers at the bottom. Still frauds. Blues behind them at 7. Oilers at 6. Panthers 5. Hurricanes 4. Flames 3. Lightning 2. And your Colorado Avalanche number 1.
Corwin, your list.
Well, I'll just start off by saying a lot of people have messaged me, DM'd me saying I expect the next video or whatever to be an apology to the Rangers for calling them frauds. Technically, they're the biggest frauds. I would like to apologize for absolutely nothing.
You'd like to apologize for wasting our time. Give the list.
Basically nailed it.
Yeah. So Rangers 8, Blues 7, Panthers 6, Hurricanes 5, Oilers 4, Flames 3, Avs 2, Tampa 1.
All right, Jesse, your list.
I've got Rangers number 8, Blues number 7, Oilers 6, Florida 5, Calgary 4, Carolina 3, Lightning 2, Avalanche 1. But for the record, that is not my power rankings of the teams left.
With that in mind, guys, go ahead. Tear up each other's lists.
Well, me and Jesse, I think, have the exact same list other than the Flames and Hurricanes, but I know he's higher on the Blues than his list would indicate, but I'm really not. I think they deserve to be the 7th spot. I think this is going to become a meme really quickly in this series. Like, they have 920 goal scorers. That's going to become a meme very quickly when the Avs dismantle them. And it's just going to be like, look at all this. No, I think I just think that there's so much talk about how this Blues team is different from the team that got swept. And, like, that's fine. They have more depth.
It is different.
That's fine.
They've added a new layer of goal scoring to their team, which is, like, incredible.
I'm still not a believer in Jordan Binnington, and his worst career numbers are against the Avalanche. Like, if you look at his splits for his career, the Avs light him up.
I mean, probably a lot of goalies' worst career.
Oh, for sure. But, like,
against the Avs.
significantly for him.
Okay, well, what series really excites you guys with it being the closest? Who did you guys have at number 1 again? Obviously you had the Avs. You had the Tampa, and
I have the Avs.
You have the Avs.
It's probably that series, right? Tampa, Florida, or the Battle of Alberta. One of those two.
Like, I think Tampa, Florida is going to be quite a close series, especially if Point is injured. Like, that's going to be a tight one. And, like, I think that series just really comes down to Bobrovsky. how well Bobrovsky plays, because if he can like hold his own, Florida's got this. They've got the juice to beat Tampa, but it's just such a big if. Like, do we really trust Bobrovsky? Not really.
Yeah, and like honestly, the reason that I kind of put Tampa above people, and obviously I think I'm hoping that Point comes back at some point. Obviously, we don't know how serious it is yet, but like they're such a good defensive team, and I feel like that gets overlooked sometimes. And when you compare, obviously Florida does have some good defensemen, but like the style of hockey that they play they don't play that same kind of shutdown style, which I think is kind of they almost tried to when the playoffs started, and that's why they kind of came a little slow out of the gates. I think the Leafs played well, but like even then, Tampa just gets in shooting lanes, and then on top of that, like they won that series, and realistically, Kucherov, Stamkos, like most of their big guys didn't even play like that well.
You want to talk about a team that understands the importance of a good third line? Think about who Tampa had last year. Gaudreau, Coleman, Gord, all gone. They're going into the playoffs this year thinking, we don't have a good enough third line. What do? It's a lot. They give up 2 firsts for Hagel, okay, who struggled at points in the series, but he contributed on that point goal that won them the game, right, in Game 6. I thought Nick Paul was excellent that series. And I'm not just talking about the last game.
I thought he was fine.
He was good. He was very
definitely
good.
great in that last game.
And he took
for sure.
faceoffs. He's a guy who can like grind. He can grind teams in like the offensive zone. He's got some offensive upside to him. I know. There's receipts. Cheap Nick Paul. It was annoying hearing about that guy's name around the deadline, but you know what? Good for him, because he played really, really well in that series, I thought, and especially since Tampa's top guys were not really getting it done all the time.
But I think, funny enough, I'm sure we'll get into some of the Leaf stuff later, but it's funny that like I really thought the Leafs going into this, one of their strengths was their third line. I'm big on Emble. I think he's a great
good.
player. I would take him over Nick Paul every day, but it didn't happen in this series. I don't know.
You guys all had the Oilers ranked beneath the Flames on your power rankings, obviously suggesting that you think the Battle of Alberta is going to go the way of the Flames. Why do you believe in the Flames over the Oilers?
Their top line is unbelievable, and I think their depth is really, really good too. And it was nice to see Tkachuk score and like Gaudreau score in overtime, because once those guys
Big
get
guys
going,
showing up.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there was a lot of criticism, rightly so, because if you're talking about like star players in Canadian markets that just haven't showed up in the playoffs, like Gaudreau and Tkachuk have not shown up when they've needed them most in the playoffs and produced.
He was super honest, by the way, Gaudreau. He's like,
I've been here for 9 years and never had even a sniff of a chance to play them in playoffs. So
other than that, too, like Markstrom was really good in that series too.
They're a complete team.
Yeah,
They were better than the Stars. Like Ottinger was just incredible. Like, it's not like the Flames really did anything wrong that series. They just ran into an insanely hot goalie. I think, no disrespect to Edmonton, it's nice to see them win a series too. I don't know if Smith is going to be able to carry the load that whole series, like with the pressure that Calgary puts on. Sorry,
he actually has pretty good numbers, like career playoffs.
Yeah.
It's like 932 save percentage, 233 goals against in his playoff career. Like, it's not bad. And I mean, like McDavid obviously was incredible against LA, but
Yeah.
he's gonna have a much different challenge against.
what
the
did you
Flames.
guys think, by the way, how pissed he got at Kane for doing the 7? He kind of talked to him after. It was pretty funny. Like, and now that you won the Game 7, it's great that it existed.
like I think McDavid, he's just like locked in and just
he's all
like he's
business.
just like it's like don't do anything that's gonna like make the media look at us in a weird way.
They've had enough first round disappointments too for like that to just be something that if they did lose that game,
don't need the
7
pressure.
somehow, it's just
Michael
like,
Jordan-
another thing.
Michael Jordan would have hated it too. What was his
Yeah.
line in the Last Dance? It's easy to talk when you're up. Let's say do it at the start of the game.
Isn't that what Luca Doncic said to
Yeah,
the Suns? Yeah.
Yes. You guys collectively were also not high on the Rangers. That's fine, because I agree with you. Their run's probably done. But how do you see that series going? Do you think that's gonna be the shortest series of the 4 that are there?
I like the Rangers players, and I wanted them to be better. I just don't think they're that good.
You guys have the best arena in hockey by far. I love watching your home game, and we like your team. It's not about that.
Yeah, my thing is that, like, again, they get outplayed so much.
Okay, this is why I have a problem with you guys calling the Rangers frauds, because like we know that about the Rangers. Like, we've even discussed on this podcast, the way that the Rangers are gonna win is with incredible goaltending. And
I know.
that's what they got from
I know,
Shesterkin
but, like,
in the back of the series.
I know, but in my
I'm so
mind-
sick of these stupid money puck advanced stats charts saying, the winning meter this, the winning meter this.
It's
like
not
they
even
have
about that.
They
Like,
have a good
Jesse,
goalie who won
But
them
that's
the
not
series.
why they won the series.
And I quote Jesse Pollock from the group chat, which I usually won't do here, but it was too good. You guys are constantly sending advanced stats, which are beyond my consumer math ability.
They are.
They won the series because Louis Domingue was in net for the majority of the series. If Tristan Jarry is in net for that series, the Penguins' goaltending and what they got
We
from
knew
their
Jarry
goalies-
wasn't going to be in this
No,
series though for a while.
But Casey DeSmith got hurt too in game 1. If he was in net and gave them something even just a little better than Louis Domingue, the Rangers are at home right now. Maybe that's why this series against the Hurricanes could maybe go a little longer than we expect, because their goaltending situation is a little interesting too, because Freddie is not in net. So I don't know, take advantage of bad goaltenders. Fine, sure, go for it.
I'd still take Carolina in 5, but I wouldn't surprise me if obviously Shesterkin goes off and whatever. But and I think I'm just saying that's just how I define a fraud in hockey.
I think the Rangers are just exactly who we thought they were, and they were able to win a series based on their identity, which is them having some top level talent. They're a bit scrappy, but they do surrender a lot of shots and they rely on good goaltending.
Okay, finally, the only thing I guess from here is which series are you going to be watching the most?
Avs.
Obviously.
The team I'm probably getting behind right now. I know because you kind of got behind the Rangers, right? I think I'll probably get behind the Flames.
Oh yeah, great pick.
Thank you. Yeah.
The Brady Tkachuk thing, where he
Yeah.
just chilling in the crowd with all the Flames fans and wearing Flames
He's
gear.
the coolest.
It's the
Brady
coolest.
Tkachuk's such a beauty.
Did you see those guys, by the way, trying to put a hex on?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Hey, it might have worked.
Who's winning in Calgary with that
Might
guy
have-
in the stands?
Yeah.
You know what? The Battle of Alberta is going to be sweet, but I think the best series of the second round is going to be between Tampa and Florida. They had such a good series last year.
Bad blood.
And there's bad blood there, and I know I kind of chirped Florida for being frauds or whatever, and I still think I think the jury's still out on Florida a little bit. Circumstances are going to change in the series. Obviously, they're going to just want to beat Tampa so badly, and their best players look more fresh. Verhaeghe is so fast. When was it? I think it was his second goal in his 5-point game where I think Barkov fed him on a 2-on-1. He drove the lane so quickly. Man, Verhaeghe's been a stud. Giroux's been incredible. Great pickup. Duclair is so fast. They obviously have Barkov, Huberdeau. I don't know. That's going to be a really tight series. It's going to come down to Bob, though.
All right, well, now we have it. You have your rankings as well as the series you guys are most looking forward to, and that brings us to Don't Think, Just Tweet. Here is a fresh set of questions for you, Luca. We're going to start with you, my friend. Who was the MVP of the first round? According to you, of course. There is no wrong answer. There's just your answer, which can be wrong.
Connor McDavid. That's the tweet.
So safe. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Without him, they're
fine.
losing
Yeah, I
to the
get you.
LA Kings. It doesn't get more valuable than that. And I thought
it'd be a little more spice on it. I get it.
I sent out a whole Twitter thing that was just Leafs fans were watching after that Game 7 loss. We're watching what McDavid did, and we're he needed to have, Matthews needed to have that game. And I just tweeted out simply they're two different players and it's two different situations. Obviously, facing LA and facing Tampa Bay are two completely different things, but the style of play is different. And people are saying I've disrespected Connor McDavid. So just one thing, he's the best player in the world. If you read the tweets, I said that.
All right, Corwin, your tweet prompt. We get that most people have said that the Leafs should, quote, run it back. But if you had to change something, what move would you make?
I'm definitely on team run it back, but if the Leafs want to swing for the fences, you go out and you get one of either Letang or Chychrun.
What do you give up?
I'd be willing to give up Robertson in a first for sure. I'm assuming Arizona's probably going to want more than that, but ideally, I would probably try to move on Mrazek and Muzzin and then throw a bunch of money at Letang.
Jesse, your question. If this was truly Malkin's last run with the Penguins, where would you most like to see him? And you trust me, these brackets are very much for you. Be realistic. Don't say the Jets.
If it's an if, Mark Scheifele does get traded, which seems no. This actually makes sense. This actually makes sense.
I have.
It's unlikely.
I just said be realistic.
Listen. If Mark Scheifele gets traded, the Jets should throw $18 million at Evgeny Malkin. Okay.
That's a great tweet.
I like that. You know what? I like that.
Guys, I tweeted earlier, we all know Evgeny Malkin wants to go to Winnipeg. What do the Jets need to do to get him there? And I spelled Evgeny with a Y instead of an I, so I deleted it. Should I tweet something right now?
No, I
Should I
mean,
tweet
you
right now?
can if you want.
Should the Jets throw $18 million a year?
Can you
at
even
Evgeny
do
Malkin?
that?
I feel like Malkin is just gonna end up in Florida. I just feel like it's
Interesting.
become a destination where players want to go. He's near the end of his career, don't have to pay income tax. He would fit in really well with that core.
For Luca, Mike Sullivan called out the no helmet rule.
I think it stinks.
Crosby called it out as well.
Terrible rule ends up probably being the difference.
Should they change the rule?
The tweet is, the rule is stupid, change it. And the reason for that is because if the ref didn't see him take the helmet off, which clearly no one did because no one called the penalty, which it should have been a penalty, and he put it back on and played, that could still be a penalty. If they don't know the situation, they see him without his helmet, see him put it back on, they can blow play dead
No
right
straps
there.
too, right?
Could you
Could they not?
You could coaches challenge that though, couldn't you?
I don't think you can coaches challenge that. They couldn't coaches challenge the Braden Point thing. If you're gonna call a penalty, call a penalty. It's a rule. Like if you don't throw the rule book at me and say don't whine about it, you could have just put your helmet back on. If the simple solution is just he can't do that, call a penalty on him.
The final one, Corwin, it's for you. What's the NHL, so the league, the NHL's dream Stanley Cup final matchup with the teams that remain?
I think the NHL would want to see the Rangers and Colorado in the finals because obviously you get the best, what many people consider to be the best team in the league, and
New York.
Showtime.
All right, well, that's a unanimous agree, right?
Yeah.
It's a unanimous agree from all of us. And that brings us to our weird piece of sports memorabilia for the week. This one's just like pricey and bizarre. It's $9,797,979.79 That's a lot of money. I didn't even sound like a real number. The way I said
Really
it.
realistic.
Well, I get it.
It's
the
a-
97.
It's because he's 97, and it's a Connor McDavid import dragon.
This looks
blind
like-
bag. Look how many offers. 23 offers. On
Wow.
that. All declined. The shipping, by the way, you'll also note.
97. Yeah, smart.
$97.
Generous.
Last time out when we did our loser point, because we've just finished 3 periods and we're about to be done with OT and you get your loser point. Every single one of you get to make one final point. And this is where the funniest stuff kind of came out because some of us doubled down.
I'll just say my loser point. This seems different.
The loser point. Jesse, what is it?
Are the Jets trade Mark Scheifele boys? I don't know. Damn, there's so many rumors.
Corwin, now your loser point, and I'm guessing it's not on Mark Scheifele.
The team wasn't different.
No, it wasn't.
All right, well, at least it was
The
honest.
team's the same.
Luca, close us out.
The Avs are different.
Wow.
It's our year.